Hey guys, what's going on? It's Adam Science here, and today we're going to be going over the trigeminal nerve, it's cranial nerve 5, and more specifically, we're going to be going over the maxillary nerve. I cover the other nerves, or other branches, the ophthalmic nerve and the mandibular nerve in other videos, but we're just going to be going over the maxillary nerve. So, it's a sensory, and it's going to be afferent. So we're going to be using the Save Vase chart to allow us to see what components are going to be there. And if you guys have questions about the Save Vase chart, we have another video on it. Just look through my page, or I could post it below. So when filling out the Save Vase chart, we're doing this to find the components. You guys remember the ophthalmic branch was general somatic afferent, but this one may be different, but it's just easy to check and to make sure. So in this one, we're going to be canceling out all the E's because E is for motor, and we know already that the maxillary branch is afferent. So we're going to get rid of all the E's, so those are not going to be components. And then we fill out the rest and figure out which one has cranial nerve 5. So SVA, GVA do not have 5, SSA does not have 5. The general somatic afferent is going to have cranial nerve 5, so that must be the components of our maxillary branch. So just like the ophthalmic nerve, we're going to have our general somatic afferent as components of our maxillary nerve. So very cool. So let's break down the branches and where it's going to go and what it's going to do. So keep in mind the ophthalmic is like the eyes and the forehead. The maxillary is like from your nose to the upper teeth. And our mandibular is kind of like a jaw around your masseter. So maxillary nerve or maxillary branch is going to go through the foramen rotundum. It's going to branch out into the greater and lesser palatine nerves. So greater and lesser palatine nerves, which are going to be talked about in for a little bit. I mean, the greater palatine nerve is going to be kind of making up the hard palate. And then the lesser palatine nerve is going to be innervating the soft palate. So cool. Then it's going to branch up and branch out in 3 different ways and have one continuing branch. And so the first in the top branch is going to be the zygomatico-temporal nerve. And that's going to go through the temple, and it's going to go out towards our lacrimal gland. So I know if you guys remember from our ophthalmic video, we talk about how the zygomatico-temporal nerve brings parasympathetic fibers to the lacrimal gland that provides our tears. So very important, or very cool to know. So zygomatico-temporal nerve brings parasympathetic fibers and makes tears. We're going to go into more detail about that in just a second, but it is cool to recognize, and that is important to realize. And it's going to be going through the zygomatico-temporal foramen. So there you go. And then now our second branch is the zygomatico-facial nerve, and that's just going to be on the face. Zygomatico-facial nerve, nothing too special there, and that will not need parasympathetic fibers. Then we have our sphingopalatal nerve, and that's going to have 2 branches. It's going to have our nasopalatine, which is going to have our nasopalatine foramen, and it's going to have the lateral palatine. So the nasopalatine and our lateral palatine. So cool. And then we have our nasopalatine foramen. And then on the bottom, and last but not least, we're going to have our inferior or infraorbital nerve. So inferior or infra, those are interchangeable. Inferior orbital nerve. And there's going to be 2 different foramen for this one. There's going to be the inferior orbital fissure or infraorbital fissure, and then the inferior orbital or infraorbital foramen. And this is my favorite one, so it's kind of cool. So it's going to branch 3 down below, and the 3 below is going to be a posterior, middle, and anterior. And what are these going to be? What could be pointing out like this? Well, these are going to be the top of our teeth, so it's going to be the superior alveolar nerve, superior alveolar nerves. And so you have the posterior superior alveolar nerve, and you have the middle superior alveolar nerve, and the anterior superior alveolar nerve. And these are all going to connect and branch up and make the nerves for our top of our teeth. So all our top teeth are going to be innervated by our superior alveolar nerve. And that's all coming off of our inferior orbital nerve. So let's get back to the zygomaticotemporal nerve and how it's going to get the presynaptic and parasympathetic fibers. So this is all going to be coming from a ganglion. So this ganglion over here is going to be called the pterygopalatine ganglion, pterygopalatine ganglion, and that's going to have our parasympathetic fibers are going to be carried by a certain nerve towards our zygomaticotemporal nerve. So we have our pterygoid canal, and out of our pterygoid canal we'll have our pterygoid canal nerve. I know it's repetitive, but it's called pterygoid canal nerve, not pterygoid nerve, pterygoid canal nerve. And that's going to help supply these parasympathetic fibers so that we could have tears, and it will go to our lacrimal duct, but not just our lacrimal duct, but it also will go out to our inferior orbital nerve and other places as well. So in blue, you'll see the traveling of the parasympathetic fibers and all the way out to our tear duct. So very cool. So that pretty much sums up what we're talking about with the maxillary nerve. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, just email me or ask me on the comment section. Thanks.